representative?
Please wait while I connect you to a representative.
I'm calling about my annual fee very much. That would definitely help me keep it. Now we're about to jump into what my strategy was and how I was able to get an offer this year from my credit card company, and I'll actually talk about what that offer was. It's not necessarily something I recommend doing every single year because it can actually put you on notice with the credit card companies, but there's some very valid reasons why getting your annual credit card fee is something that a credit card company will actually do for you. At the end of this video, when I talk about my specific strategy for how I was able to get a promotional offer and a retention offer, I'll actually show you some clips of what I said so that you can actually get an idea of what the script could be that you use. I wouldn't necessarily recommend copying the script word for word. It's going to depend on your situation. So after you watch this video and after you kind of learn some of these different ideas or strategies to think about, if it relates to you and it's something that you want to consider, give it a try and then comment below and let me know what you actually found out or what you were able to achieve with it as well. And if you're finding some of these tips helpful as we go through, if you could click that like button, and also maybe if you really like it, click that subscribe. It helps me so much. I'm trying to grow this channel, and any little action that you're able to help me with would really be great. One of the first things just really quickly to talk about is why credit card companies actually have to charge annual fees. So a lot of credit cards will actually offer benefits, or they'll offer miles is a lot of times what they call that, or cash back. And a lot of those promotional offers too that they're offering in the first year actually cost them money. So their goal is to actually keep you loyal and retain your business for a long period of time. One way they make money is every time you use your credit card, you go to a vendor, you go to a merchant, they're actually getting a small portion of that sale as a fee back to them. But in general with you, when they've given you those promotional offers and those extra miles and cash back, the longer you're actually staying with the card, the more money they're actually able to make off of you. So the annual fee also can be a second way that they're able to recoup some of those costs that they initially invested in you. There's absolutely no need for you to have credit cards that do have an annual fee, but for some people, the perks and the promotions that can come along with a credit card that has an annual fee can outweigh the actual annual fee that it costs. The first thing to think about when calling your credit card to ask to have your annual fee waived is that they respect loyalty. They want to have you as a member of their organization, as a card member, for as long as possible because of those fees that we talked about before and the way that they actually make money. Now let's get that fee waived. So there are 3 ways that you actually might be able to take advantage of getting your credit card fee waived. So the first is if you are active duty military. And a lot of credit card companies like American Express or Chase will actually waive credit card fees if you are active duty military. So that's just something to keep in mind. You can always ask that if that does apply to you, but Chase, American Express, and a lot of the other big credit card companies will waive fees if you are active duty military. Now the second one is just asking, calling up your credit card and asking to see if they can waive your fee. This one does not work quite as well as the third one, which we're going to go over in just a minute, but sometimes just calling up your credit card company, saying that you've been loyal and wanting to see if they're able to waive your fee, it definitely can work. It's worked for me once about 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't necessarily tried it since then, but it is something to do. You know, always just asking is the first step. You never know what you're going to find out. So the second one is just asking. Call up your credit card company, ask to speak to a representative, and see if they're able to waive your annual fee or waive your overdraft fees. Again, you can focus on your loyalty, the amount of time you've been there, the love of the card, the love of the company, whatever it might be, but that's the second one, just asking and seeing if you can get the fee waived. Now, number 3 is saying that you're going to cancel your card. Now, this is something you have to be really careful of because you shouldn't just threaten to cancel your card if you don't actually want to cancel your card. That's not what I'm recommending. But sometimes there's cards with lower fees that are still within the same company that you're able to downgrade to, or maybe you're even able to downgrade to a card that has no fee still within the same credit card company. So with this strategy, what you would do, you would call up the credit card company, ask to speak to a representative. Maybe you want to talk to the retention department. The retention department or the member services department is usually the department that's able to offer you certain things to keep you to stay there for longer. So in this case as well, just remember, you can always say, hey, I'm trying to figure out if there's any lower fee options. I'd like to see if I can get my annual fee waived. I would like to potentially look at what options there are to downgrade my card. I really love the card, but maybe you would say something like the following, and again, it depends on your situation. Do not lie. I do not recommend creating some fabricated story. Just be truthful and honest. It goes a long way. But maybe in your situation, you've had a lot more expenses recently, and you're just trying to find a card that has a lower fee. And the other thing is you can mention other credit card companies. So if you have other credit cards, you could say something like, I have this credit card with company X. It doesn't charge a fee. I'm thinking of moving more towards that because they still offer me some benefits, although not as many as yours. they still offer me some benefits that I'm able to use, and I'm really thinking that the fee on your credit card just might be too much for me to handle. Do you have any retention offers or anything that I can consider before I would consider canceling my card? Something like that can really go a long way if it is something that you're considering. But just again, keep in mind that if you say that you are thinking of canceling, it shouldn't be something that you just throw out there constantly. You really should be actually thinking about canceling. You should be looking at other options and just trying to see what they might be able to do to keep you on as a customer. Now, we're about to jump into what my strategy was and how I was able to get an offer this year from my credit card company, and I'll actually talk about what that offer was. But before we get into that, if you could subscribe, just comment below what you're thinking. And again, please try this out after we're done this video if this applies to you and it's something that within your situation is something that you want to actually do. And I know I've said this probably like a million times already on this video. This really should relate to your situation. You shouldn't try and do it every single year with every single credit card company because it can start to look bad on your profile within that credit card company. But if it does relate to you and it's something that you want to try out, I fully recommend it. I've done it many times just with different situations throughout my life that have come up and I've been able to get different offers or fees waived as well. Let's talk about the actual outcome with me and what happened when I called my credit card company to see if there was any reduction in fee that was possible or if there were any other offers that they were able to give to me for being loyal and to retain my business. So the credit card that I use is extremely great for frequent travelers. And I have always been a frequent traveler. I've traveled for business, I've traveled for pleasure all around the world, and I have used this credit card all the time. It has great rewards for that. But it also comes with a multiple $100 annual fee. So in the case of this year, all of a sudden travel is absolutely no more. I haven't been able to travel at all, go on a plane, nothing. And I don't even know in the next few months if I will be getting on another plane or if there will be business travel or what will actually be happening. So a ton of those benefits that I was able to receive have no longer been able to be received by me this year. So when I called the credit card company, that was actually something I discussed with them. Here's just some of the clips of what I actually said. I'm calling about my annual fee. I haven't been able to, use a lot of the points in the last year. I'm just trying to see what retention offers there might be for reducing that fee for, I think it just came on, or it's on my next account statement. And I don't know what travel's gonna look like. It's kind of, high fee. So I didn't know if there's any retention offers or like ways to reduce the fee for this year, anything like that. I have another right now that doesn't have any fees. So I mean, I don't know. I just kind of, trying to see what the options are since it's been a wild year. And I'm sure this goes without saying, but I just want to say it. Being nice when talking to customer service representatives and member services representatives goes a long way. The people that work for these companies are trying their best, and sometimes they just don't have the power to do what you're asking them to do. But just remember, kindness, a smile, smiling through the phone, just asking how someone's doing can go a really long way, and also just kind of help the agent on the other end to maybe recommend different offers or be willing to go the extra mile for you. So just keep that in mind. Always be nice, always be kind, always be cheerful on the phone, even though sometimes it can be really hard if you're sitting on hold for a really long time with wait music and you just want to get a solution to your problem. And so I went through that dialogue with the credit card company. They transferred me to the member services department, and the member services department basically started off by telling me some new promotional offers that they had for all card members. And they were actually 2 perks that I hadn't heard about. Although they didn't really relate to me right off the bat, it's definitely something for me to consider to counteract some of that high annual fee that I'm going to experience throughout the year. So then they basically asked, is that going to be something that's enough to keep your business? And at that point, I was just basically like, hey, those are really great offers, but I actually just don't use those services, or I'm not sure if they're actually going to apply to me in the next year. Is there anything else you might be able to do? And I just kind of left it open-ended like that. And then they went back and looked, they were able to see what they were able to do, and then they offered me multiple tens of thousands of points to remain. And the great thing was there was no actual fee or no actual credit card spend that I had to hit to get those points. Because I was a loyal member of their credit card, they just wanted to retain my business and they were able to offer me extra points just to stay, and there was no cost to me at all. So that actually turned out really great for me, and I'm definitely going to keep the card now. I'm not going to cancel it, I'm not going to downgrade, I'm going to keep the card for the next year and see if I can actually utilize some of these points more in the future. And when I called the company, the first thing to note is that they actually weren't going to give me anything unless I actually mentioned that I was considering downgrading or canceling. And in this case, I actually was, because I was considering some of their lower cost cards, the lower annual fee cards that they actually offered as well. And I have a couple credit cards that have 0 annual fee. So I was actually thinking, hey, maybe I just will cancel this credit card It would have a negative effect on my credit score, but at the same time, I wouldn't have to pay this large annual fee. I could move on to a credit card that either had a lower fee, or I could just cancel this altogether and move on to my credit cards that have 0 annual fee as well. Needless to say, I was very happy with the outcome. I remained cheerful the entire time. I was very thankful for the offer, and I did express how great it was to be a member of this credit card company and to remain loyal. So I hope you're able to use these strategies, and feel free to comment below if this is something that relates to you and you want to try it with your credit card company. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for being around with Quinn Talks Money.